Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about level design, characters, and some other stuff. Um, First of all, I want to say that the update from last week, uh, the current shaders that are on the beta that are in the beta channel will cause a lot of slowdown in the rendering, and that's simply because of the way that I implemented the multi-material stuff. If you look in the multi-material GLSL code, uh, I used a for loop for every texture lookup that it does. Like there's a function to get the base color, and it has a for loop to loop through all the sub materials that are in use, and and do the texture lookups for them if they're present. And it turns out that's actually like a really bad way to do things. When I eliminated those loops and I just structured the program just a little bit differently. And when I did that, the performance went way, way, way back up. So I think in the final version, if you're using multiple materials, it's going to run slower than not. I think that's worth it because it's such a great effect. It looks so good that it's worth having giving up some frames so you can get better quality like that. But when they're not in use, then it should run at the same speed as without. So that's what we can look forward to. I know what the issue is, so it's just temporary. So it's nothing to worry about. We had a bit of a breakthrough last week with if you've been watching this series, you've probably seen that we've been having a lot of problems with level design, like deciding on what to make, and then just kind of figuring out what we can do that's going to look really good. And we've if you read like articles and stuff on level design, everything on the internet is going to tell you that you should start by making a diagram of the entire level. Start with like a bubble diagram and then turn it into a layout. But you have to have this like block out of the whole level, and you have to play test it. You have to make sure it's fun. Um,
Which I agree with, just not for this project.
well, it's it that approach has not really been working for us, from what I've
Well,
seen.
in this case, because we're trying to make something that looks good. Like when Cyclone, I need to make sure my puzzles are good, and I need to know what my and I was also like coding the actual game mechanics with it too. So I needed to know how big I should make walls and how much distance can the cyclones push you and everything. And just showing out a map and a puzzle was very helpful in that.
Hmm.
But we're trying to make something that looks good first, and we're really trying like to see we're trying to express the features of the engine, but it'll probably be a totally different story if you're on the if you're just if you worry about like if your main concern is like is my game fun, but
Yeah.
I think that's
Um, well, I mean, it's not fun if it doesn't if it's just an empty level. So I
right.
was, you know, so I was looking at this, and it seemed kind of a backwards approach. And it's like, I mean, if you're an expert level designer, then and it's no problem for you to fill in the details. Like once you have your layout, then okay, cool, that's probably going to work for you.
I
But
think I
for
think our issue was we were making boxes and then we were trying to fill out those boxes and trying to imagine empty boxes. When we started to shell out like, oh, we want this to look like this, and then I just used developer textures to start, and that helped because I knew what I was making, but I didn't have to worry about what the colors and everything. I just had to worry about the shape. So
yeah,
don't make empty boxes rooms that will not be helpful. But if you haven't imagined, if you know what the kind of scene you're going to make, like, oh, I'm going to make a castle or I'm going to make a sewer system, or I'm going to make a hospital. Um, that is actually more helpful than just you just making empty boxes and stitching them together with hallways.
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
yeah. For me, that's quite difficult. I can't like it's. I don't like using programmer art, and for me, it's easier to just like let's make one room and then make another room and then make another room. Now that works if you have if your level is sort of like all interior and you don't have to worry about two passages linking up. If you're making a multiplayer map, then then it's completely different because there you have to pay a lot of attention to how movement throughout the level works, and it's
and
like
timing and timing when you're going to see your first enemy, where the flag is, where the capture point is, and all that nonsense.
yeah.
Very difficult.
So we kind of just started working on one room, and we had quite a bit of success with that. One thing I've realized is with level design, there's basically like three types of game levels. There's indoor, like a corridor shooter. There's outdoor. An example of that would be something like, I guess, the Stalker games where you have, or Crisis, where you have like big areas of just trees and nature separated by little villages and little areas with more man-made structures. And then there's also sort of this in between where it feels open but it's really enclosed, like something like a Counter-Strike map. Most Counter-Strike maps would be like that. And what I found is like entirely indoor level is the easiest to make. And then the second easiest is an outdoor level that's like a big, expansive outdoor scene. It's harder because there's more ground to cover, but it's still not that difficult because you have areas with trees and you just paint trees everywhere, and then you have your little villages that you pay a little bit more attention to that and put more time into that. But then the hardest thing actually I think is something like a Counter-Strike level where it's outdoors but it doesn't but it
You're
feels like it's
enclosed.
outdoors but it's really quite enclosed.
Yeah, I think the issue is selling the notion of you're outside, but you're just in a giant box, and it's like hard to make those barriers feel natural. I think that's the real issue. Some people do vistas. Some people there's a lot of ways to do that, but you just
Yeah,
have to. It's just
it's a
it.
lot of work. I mean, I was looking at like one Counter-Strike map where it's just an alleyway, but
Mhm.
they have like a whole series of like fake buildings with like little entrances and stuff that you can't go in, and like a little set of stairs that you go up and then a door that doesn't open, just to make it feel like it's just to feel like it's not an alleyway, which is what it is. So it requires like you have to put in so much extra work for stuff
Mhm.
that isn't part of the playable level.
Yeah, and with something like Left 4 Dead, that actually was part of the gameplay mechanic too, where you actually had to make all those like empty areas so the infected can spawn.
Oh
But
yeah. Yeah,
when
that's really difficult because you're putting so much effort into stuff that
the player doesn't see.
it doesn't expand the playable area at all. Another thing I think we found is that uh, basically you can expect everything you do to look bad the first time you do it. Like every weapon that we tried looked bad until we found the right ones. Every time you add some new texture that's kind of like something different, it's probably going to look bad until you figure it out. I started modeling. I got one model in, and I wasn't really happy with it. It wasn't. It didn't. It was just supposed to be like some structure that would go around the ceiling, and I put it in, and it didn't really look good. And it's like everything you do looks bad the first time, and so that means whenever you add something new to your plan, you're not adding one thing. You're adding something that you're going to have to do 3 or 4 times before it looks right. So, anyways, what's that?
Iterative process.
Yeah. So let's see. We did get kind of a breakthrough here. This is I think this is the best shot we have so far. Here's basically the room.
That looks well planned, I think. I was going to say, the one that's in repo now, I like mine better because there's more detail up top. Because my eye immediately goes to the roof. And in my version I can show, I disguise that more with decals and everything. But you wanted to put your model in and see how that looks. But I don't know. I just like how I did my thing better. I think yours was more better with the painting. My painting was broken. And then we figured out that there's a bug where the edge split, where the edges need to be non-zero for it to work properly. So
yeah,
that's why.
I'll fix that. But
yeah, that's why I was that's why mine, like, I really like what you did with the mud there instead of the decal. But up top, it looks so boring up there.
yeah, I didn't really get to this.
Yeah.
I made this metal framework piece, and it's just one square, and then I used a bunch of instances of it, and it's got kind of a T shape if you look at it more carefully, like up close. And the idea was that there would be like lights would be hanging off of this stuff, and you would have like wires hanging out, but it doesn't really. It just looks like random geometry to me. It doesn't look good. Some pipes. I think pipes might be the next thing I try. I'm not gonna make like a modular set of like little pipe pieces, because what I've found with that kind of stuff is you end up never using them because it's just so much work to put them together in unique shapes. Instead, I think I'm gonna make like big chunks of pipe configurations that you can just place along a wall. And have some variations of that. So let's see. Okay, so in your version, you added a stripe. Okay, so this was interesting. This is what we started with. It was basically like this, and we didn't really.
I was just like screwing around. I wasn't really paying attention.
We didn't. Yeah, that you did an amazing. Like your painting looked way better than this, but and we didn't really know what this thing was, and then we just were using some materials that we liked, and then you added a stripe that was going all the way around here.
I think it made it made it more unified the space more.
Let's see.
That's the first bit. That's when I was just like screwing around, didn't know what I was doing.
So then he added this stripe, and we were like, "Oh, this is a subway station."
Yeah. That was just a decal. Don't use decals for that because there was a lot like, because then it just didn't look right.
I think we should only use decals for things that we can only use decals for, but
right.
And then we were like, okay, this is a metro station. And then from there on out, we had a lot of ideas of like, yeah, actually, that's a really good setting for what we would like to do with this. It's entirely underground, so we don't have to make all those decisions about, how to blend indoor and outdoor. And like I said, like everything you do looks bad the first time. It's very easy for things to just look wrong. Just because, and it's not a technology thing. It's an art thing. And so we said, okay, this is a metro station, and we were pretty happy with that setting, because there's a lot we can do with that. So I think actually, um, I think we should be looking at Metro Exodus, the indoor areas of Metro Exodus. That should be our design goals. And this is kind of based on something that Rich DiGiovanni did for us, like way back in the day. This level, and I've uploaded these models actually in GLTF format. They're available here. And he had very limited technology at the time to use because we didn't have any painting or anything. This whole floor, this is one 2048 by 2048 texture with it's just one unique texture that he painted. So it it was difficult to do stuff like this at the time because the technology was very limited, but he did a really wonderful job with it. And I think the nicest thing about this is there's a very good color scheme here. You've got like a lot of what you've got the white and the gray and the black, and then your color is you've got a little bit of red in the walls and the rust pieces here, and then you've got green that blends with that very nicely. And that was we kind of got like a similar look with this. I just think there's a lot more we can do with it now. I like the orange lights. This is they use this a lot in Stalker, in the Stalker games.
Yeah,
I think that looks really good.
it's like the old filament lights back in the day.
Mm,
Those old street lamps. I
yeah.
think the temperature is a little off, but I see what you're going with.
Okay. And I really like when the lights are really bright and you get that Fresnel reflection off these tiles. That looks
Mhm.
really really good. And so to get that look, what I had to do is I had to increase the brightness of the lights, and then I selected the environment probes and I modified their color, which I don't. I mean, that's something I don't really want people doing because once you start doing that, it's I think it's going to lead to problems. So what I think I actually need to do is add a setting in the when you for the for the global illumination calculation. I think I need a setting for the light transmission, which is like how much light bounces off of surfaces.
And just have that be like a slider or something.
Yeah, because we would want a much lower transmission for this. We still want some indirect lighting, but we don't want it to be like this, where it's quite washed. It's very washed out, and it doesn't look
Hmm.
good. And this was a problem in your first screenshot here. Like,
Yeah, I just again, I was just we were just hanging out on call, and I was just messing
yeah,
around.
but like this it's very washed out. And then if you simply all you do is if you just simply have more contrast in the lighting like this,
Hmm.
then suddenly same exact textures, but all of a sudden it makes good textures look great.
Um,
In
some
in your I think it looks better. I think I really like having this tile go all the way to the ground.
okay,
The reason for that is because it's white, so the painting shows up on it very easily.
okay,
When you have the mud in the corners like this, it looks it's very visible. Whereas if you have like if you have a
concrete there.
what's that?
It will eat the concrete, and it'll hide the grind a little
Yeah,
bit.
it hides all the detail.
Yeah, I did that mainly for the base because I didn't like that concrete ramp thing. It just didn't look level to me for some reason. It was it again, like I was just doing what looked right, not cool. But yeah, I understand what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're learning. I mean, this stuff in the corner, like here, like this stuff looks really really good.
Yeah. And again, I was having issues with, I didn't know why my painting tool was not working
Yeah,
properly.
yeah, of course. Um, so yeah, if we, I don't know. I think the and the alien like slime stuff. It again
That,
like it just
that
didn't
just
look right.
caused, it just caused so much problems because it's the tessellation and everything. So it just screws up everything because it makes because the walls, so not every wall is concave. There's like two pieces that like join together, but they're two separate brushes. And so we can't have that bevel. So when you paint like a tessellated material, like the alien slime or the alien flesh texture, it will actually make it pop out and distort that wall texture because there's no bevel because it's part of like a
Hmm.
different brush.
Oh,
And another, yeah, I think in your map now, if you go into that room, you see the interior all screwed up. That's also an issue. Like it looked cool in my mind, it looked pretty cool, but I think it just had so many problems. It had the problems of the tessellation, but there was no way to fix it because, because of how the brush geometry was. And also, if you accidentally paint, like that concrete floor on the bottom, which does have beveling, it'll make it swell up like it was just filled with water. So,
hmm.
um,
Well,
yeah, so
the tessellation stuff we can deal with. Yeah, we can deal with that, but it's kind of like we need to like
mhm,
try something and then say, okay, it doesn't work, and go back, and then try
mhm.
something again and go back, and just like add things one at a time. But like this look right here, this is a very good like basis for a lot, and I would like to like sort of use this as sort of our foundation,
Right.
and then expand slowly, like one piece at a time, and just discard the things that don't look good, which is going to be most of the things we try, which is okay.
Right.
And then keep the things that we try that do look good.
I do like, even though you can't like see it, I do like the blending of the rust and the on the metal beams. All I did was fill it and then decrease the amount
Yeah.
of rust.
Okay.
That was pretty good. That worked
I'm recording.
if needed.
Okay. Just a second. Um, the rust on what?
The rust on the the support beams.
Oh yeah,
Um,
those look really good actually. That looks like just as good as anything that I could model in a 3D modeling program.
yeah, and that's just brushes
Yeah.
with it, and I just blended the rust texture on it. That's it.
I also tried adding like a metal texture to the edges,
Hmm.
and it made the edges look very silvery, but it was like a perfect line. So I think I actually want to add another button. We have a lot of buttons on that interface already, but I want to add another button that adds some noise to it, and then that way you'll have like the metal edges, but there'll be some bumpiness, like some randomness to it.
Hmm.
But yeah, those beams, that was another thing that you tried that looks really really fantastic.
Yeah, most of it's geometry. I wanted to. I originally wanted it to have the rust on the edges, but then it just like, wait, this makes more sense. This is a very damp environment. Most of it should be rusty. So
I think the edges would actually be the cleanest part, right?
probably, maybe, but like the
I don't know.
seam, no, the seam where like the two pieces join together, a lot of water and moisture gets trapped in there.
Oh
So
yeah. Okay.
yeah, so that's what I was originally going for, but just but I couldn't like, because of how the geometry was, I couldn't like make it work. So
Yeah. But I feel very good about this general approach. I feel that we can expand this into something
hmm
that we're that we're happy with that looks good. And the gameplay, I mean, as long as the flow graph builds, then that's pretty much all the playtesting we need to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I think I've got everything in order now to, I can add about 1,500 PBR materials into our system here. And like I said, I'm planning to replace the ambient CG plugin we have right now with something that accesses this system, which we have a web API for this. And so instead of relying on a bunch of different APIs, we can just add everything into here. And I think materials will be the first thing that we do, but we also have a bunch of 3D models. Sketchfab is going away, but we have Objaverse, which includes a bunch of models that came from Sketchfab and other places, all public domain or free to use stuff.
Is the website gonna discard any unusable models for games, like things that like have like a million polys and all that?
Well, there's no way for there's too many models to even go through it all by hand. What we can do, but I showed last week we were getting pretty good results if I just set some filters. Like
Right.
you can set the maximum number of vertices and then like say like it has to have 100 views or 100 likes and 1,000 views, and then we got the numbers down from like 800,000 down to like 8,000, and we were still able to find like a few good models for everything that we searched for.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe I should. I haven't talked to Rich in a long time, but when we're a little bit further along, maybe I should talk to him. Maybe I should contact him and say, hey, you might be into. I don't know. See what he's working on, anyways, nowadays, because he's always done really fantastic work in the past. Yeah. So filling. I guess the next challenge is going to be like filling this space up with 3D models. This was my first attempt. Not very happy with it. I think I'm going to try some
I
pipes
don't.
next.
Yeah, and I don't like that there's no back facing on the ends. So when you incomplete the if you incomplete the pattern, and if you look on the other side, like you
Yeah.
don't there's no facing. I don't like that at all.
Okay. I was trying to save. I was trying to be cool.
Well, some you try to be. I always feel like when every time I try to be resourceful, it bites me in the ass. So like I was like, oh well, we don't need these polys here, and then I was like, oh, I actually do need those polys there.
Yeah. So yeah, again, like let's Metro Exodus. I think is what we want to look at more. Like their level design is very. I
Mhm.
think it's too much. I don't think we have to go
Yeah,
as far
right.
as they do.
But it gave me the idea to use the mud texture for the floor. I think that was a really good idea.
Oh,
Um,
you chose a really good texture too.
yeah, I was like, I want something like that. I went to like papers mixing with that too, but I didn't think that would look good. Um, because it has that like fade effect, and I couldn't find like just like a paper pattern texture. I found like papers found different kinds of paper. It's like I found like paper like, oh, this is made of paper, like a paper material, but not like a paper like overlay or something, or garbage overlay or something.
Yeah, I'd like to have like debris and stuff like painted
Yeah,
on here, but again, it's kind of like I know that the first time we try it, it's gonna look weird.
right.
But we have what I like about this is we have something that where like nothing stands out as being odd. Everything here looks it's detailed, but it looks pretty like uniform too. I wonder if is there a variation of that mud that doesn't have the rocks on it?
No, that no, I'm something that I've been doing. I've been doing what I said I'll do. I'll just use ambient CG and just pull things from that library.
Hmm.
What we can do is we can probably just mask those rocks out in Photoshop because yeah, I like it on the walls, but it's really like doesn't make much sense that there's rocks in the walls. So maybe we can go in Photoshop or GIMP and just patch those out. I would,
Okay.
yeah,
Um,
because yeah, because a lot of things what we're doing is we're just pulling things from MCG and then be like, oh, I really wish there was a stripe here, or I really wish this didn't have this texture, and then like saving that as a PNG going to GIMP or Photoshop, whatever you use, and then making the edits and just resaving the texture. And
yeah.
since it's because the licensing, we can do that, so that's
Yeah.
really cool.
So this is extremely dark, but you can see here's the silver edges the metallic edges I was talking about on the
Yeah,
beam.
yeah, it does have a bevel on it too. So it makes
Yeah.
it.
But the mud with the rocks in it, that looks super super good down here. I was actually like the displacement map is like solid red for this.
Mm.
Did you modify that or something?
No, the only things I left everything as is.
That's weird. Okay, I'll have to take another look at that. Because
Maybe
I
check.
really wanted to see what this looked like with tessellation. I also want some like concrete debris. I think in the corners would look really good. See, here's what I mean. Like it looks really good on the ground, but it looks weird to have rocks in the walls like that.
Yeah, yep, I know.
Um,
I can look at the textures and maybe we can just stamp
okay,
those out.
okay, but yeah, it looks super good. Um,
Yeah.
Would need to be have a bit moss on the wall as well, maybe.
Oh, like not moss, but like I think it's algae or just it's some like breed of plants. It's
Also,
like a fungus kind of thing.
also moss looks really good in the corners and the edges.
hmm.
It needs to be green. I don't know if it needs to be moss, but I think we do need some like green texture. Because I was thinking about adding moss, and I was like, wait a minute, like then when I think moss, I think of like dilapidated, overgrown, not just in a sewer. I don't know, but
Yeah, try it and see. It'll probably look bad the first time, and then until we find the right texture.
all right.
Um, yeah, so I mean, now what you see in this shot is he added a lot of green in with the pipes and these weird things. That was like how he added more color.
All right.
Hmm.
We also need graffiti. You linked me to a site with graffiti stuff, right? Oh,
There's a website called like Ping. It's more for graphics design. It's not really for games, but they do have a lot of graffiti stuff. They do have a lot of
what's
graffiti
it called?
images.
What's it called?
I don't
Ping.
remember.
Um,
Um, but yeah, and again, it's like you. I remember like at one point you had some graffiti on one of these walls, and it looked odd. It just stuck out.
yeah,
Um,
I wasn't really happy with that. I don't want that kind of graffiti. I kind of just want the scribble graffiti, like you would normally see. But it has to be like a lot of it condensed together. I think that
yeah, I
was
think
like,
so. Yeah, so it's really weird how like it, it's it's really weird how it's hard to get like a consistent something that's consistent and looks good because it seems like every time you add some deviation from it, it's really easy for things to just stand out and look wrong. But as long as we stay, I think this is going to be a combination of like staying focused on the core visual theme combined with like, we need to experiment away from this, but with the expectation that everything we do is going to look wrong the first time. I mean, this is interesting because this is all artwork. This is not technology. So I'm learning a lot of this stuff for the first time. Um, and we're far enough along to start thinking about characters. We have some options. I talked to this guy, the artist who made this, I think it looks pretty good. The animations are somewhat limited, though. I'll show you. So that looks fine to me. Now he's a little bit more alert. That's a much better walk.
There we go. Yes, an attack.
I guess that I don't know what the see. I only saw one attack animation there. I don't know, like this one.
Yeah.
I don't know what this second thing is.
Dying.
So there's two issues. Like we only have one attack animation as far as I can see. That's it.
Right.
Um,
They make like a right swing. It'd be nice if we made like a right swing.
Yeah. And then I think this character is going to have a lot of clipping problems.
Yeah, because of how his body is.
His little buddy sticks out quite a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of issues with that. And also, I don't see this as something that you're going to have more than one of. Because he's so distinctive and unique.
Right.
A boss or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. I can't really see having 5 of these in the same level.
Oh well, with certain things, you could have 5 of them.
With this, though,
If you enter a room, like an arena or something, and then 5 of these guys are awakened and attacking you simultaneously.
Yeah, but they wouldn't
Okay,
look
really cool.
exactly the same though. There would have to be variations of just like the same idea.
It's often that you have the same ads.
yeah. Okay, so those are my concerns. I mean, I've talked to him and told him the terms that I want. Basically, we need a 3D model that I can distribute with the engine in our own proprietary file format, and I need to be able to like pass on the rights to use this model with the engine to make games free of charge. Like anything that we ship with the example has to be something that the end user can use to make their game. This guy has quite a lot of variety of stuff of sort of the same kind of style, this mutant monster zombie kind of thing. I don't think this one doesn't show the animations, but he's got animations like on CG Trader. I saw the same models. The animations looked good to me. I think he's got a bigger collection actually. And then this is the guy that I was originally interested in. This author. And the model that I really liked was this. This thing looks awesome. This is also, I don't know if it's usable because it's 190,000 polygons. We would have to reduce that. And it's not animated. It's probably not rigged either. Let's take a look at some of his other things.
Which guy is not rigged?
This one I think is not rigged.
You could maybe, yeah, but you could maybe try to rig it with Mixamo.
We can't use Mixamo. You cannot distribute models. You cannot use it to distribute. You can use it to make a game, but you cannot use it. You cannot distribute models that use Mixamo animations separate, like in a way that they can be separated from the game. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look at how many polygons this thing is. Yeah, 61,000, so 90,000 polygons. I don't think he's really Okay, let's discard this guy. Let's see what else this guy has.
So pretty much we need a model that's already animated or someone willing to animate it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of this like necro mutant kind of stuff you would see in like Killing Floor. And if you look at you can find his stuff on CG Trader. If you just look on there, you can see the animations on there, and they looked good to me. Let's see what else Ecliptica has. This guy looks cool. I like this one.
If it loads.
This really looks like something from Killing Floor. He needs a gun. Yeah, I'd say this guy, Dreamorn. I'd say he's probably the best option because he's got the most variety, and his stuff is animated and ready to go, I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, if you can animate.
Let's see.
That's the issue with these creatures.
His stuff is all over. CG Trader. Let's see. I think this is him.
Did he reach back to you, or?
I haven't contacted this person yet.
Oh, well, it's hard to keep track of who you contact, who you don't.
This might be someone else, but their style looks very similar. Let's get to the animations. A lot of attack animations.
If I was making a game, I would make a unique monster type because, like, if he chooses like to attack you with his hands, it will take X amount of damage. But if he tries to attack you with his like little like claw things, it will be like a different amount of damage. If that makes sense. Now that looks great.
Okay, let's see.
Hi, my name's Atrock, and I've been animating for a grand total of 10 minutes.
Hi, my name is Steven, and I've been
I don't
animating
care.
for 10 days.
Let me just post a link to that so I have it. I can get a hold of that person. It might not be the same person, but yeah, I have found that artists are a lot more willing. They're a lot more open-minded now than they were a couple of years ago, because I think they're not making as much money now.
No.
I think everybody's struggling for visibility in the different stores.
And it's really terrible too, because you have all these great people doing great work, and it's like they don't have like the guidance, or they don't like they just make things, but they don't know like what people actually need.
Okay, so I found Dreamorn. This is the same guy as before. So this model looks really nice. Let's see if we can find some animations in here. He says it includes animations, but I don't see any videos.
It's not worth the $15 gamble.
Oh, 50% off. Yeah, I would like to see the animations. Yeah, I'd say this is probably... I really like this one. If I can verify that the animations are usable, because they might be... If it's like linked to Unreal Engine somehow, then that might be a problem. Let's see, what is this program?
It looks like some sort of rigging tool.
It does.
This is Maya.
Oh, okay. Okay, so these probably will work. Let's just check. Okay, it's FBX, so that's probably no problem. Yeah, I might just buy this today and we can start playing around with it. It's only $15.
Like the gamble. If you can't use it for the game, you can always use it to like test.
Screenshot.
Yeah.
Just make screenshots if nothing else.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have something like nice looking inside in this area. Yeah, so if we look, let's take a quick look at Metro Exodus Underground.
I thought they stopped with the Google Doodles. Yeah, that was like the video you were showing me.
The second image was very cool.
What do you know? We're here. Novosibirsk. I sure hope this time it's not another bunch of nuts.
Yeah, but it's exposed to the outside.
Bridges are undamaged, and the radiation's careful.
Yeah, I was watching the video you showed me, and I was like, this game actually kind of is very slow. There's a lot of exposition and walking around and actual gameplay.
Okay, so I like these things on the walls.
Yeah.
I like that. Whatever they are. They look like wires or something.
Yeah. That they have them in New York City too. We could put them in the we can put them in the tunnels where the trains go. But I really like that. I was like, oh, I saw those. I knew exactly what they are and exactly where I should put them.
Yeah. So I think their design is. I'd say we probably want our stuff to be about half as cluttered as this. I think this is
Yeah.
actually like too cluttered.
Yeah, but I like the plaster. The reason why I put plaster in that room was because of this video. I really like that. I got a lot of the reason why I put mud on the floor was because of maps like this. But you see, like they put some green there. It's radiation. It might be radiation here, but it's like this like moss like fungus thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's probably radioactive in this game, but if we can add a little bit of color to it. And that's what I was trying to do with the alien slime and the gore stuff, just to add that slight color. But because of the tessellation and how like the level is, the geometry was, it was just causing all sorts of problems.
Well, those issues can be resolved.
Not by me, but
Yeah.
it could be.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, but I was just doing what I could do before this weekend because I knew you wanted something to show this weekend. I was like, oh.
We did catch quite a...
Those tiles are similar to what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I would like the player to see like what we do and say, okay, I can take this and I can expand on it. But I don't want them to feel overwhelmed. I want them to see how everything goes together and feel like, oh, okay, I can add another room pretty easily and just expand on this idea.
Right.
So if we end up with something a bit cleaner than that, I think that's good.
I do gotta say that this level, this idea, how we make maps in Ultra Engine is kind of like it's different from doing like source level mapping because you're taking plain materials and you're just throwing them in the scene and then you rely on the painting and decals to blend everything together. So it was just weird because it was like I actually had to think about my brush structure.
It's actually normal, I think.
Well, it's normal. It might be normal to you, but it's like now. But like Ultra Engine's like is closer to Hammer, right? And then you're like saying, oh well, now you have this tool, so the ways you would do things in Hammer or you would do things in Source are different now because you have this element to think about.
I think it's easier I think it makes it a lot easier to get stuff that looks really good. Mm-hmm. Like what we're doing now looks really fantastic, and it would be extremely difficult to produce this otherwise. We don't really have to worry about like all the stuff we were complaining about, like having like sets of textures. We don't even have to think that way anymore. Now we have to think in terms of like.
I like my stripe texture to add some variety, but I think we want to use that in the station. I think because it just unifies the space a little bit more. I don't think we need it here, but in the station area, I kind of want those.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. But we make the variants. We just take the base and go, oh, I really wish there was a stripe here, or I really wish the mud didn't have rocks in it, and we just go in and just stamp that out.
Yeah, and I think it's good to use fairly like plain neutral materials actually because we want all this painted detail to be very clearly visible.
Right. I do gotta admit though, the painting system is kind of clunky, managing materials and everything.
No, it's only half finished.
Yeah, but right now it's just. I really wish there's a way just to like reset everything in case you really screw up instead of individually deleting all the materials. I really wish there was just a clear everything button where it just resets everything.
Hmm.
Just if you just like screw up and you're like, yeah, this is not working, I gotta redo it.
Yeah, and I actually think of all the sites we've looked at, so Ambient CG and Polyhaven and PBRPX are the main websites we've looked at for PBR materials. They all provide public domain assets, and there's a few others. There's quite a few others actually, but those are the ones we've looked at, and I actually think PBRPX probably should be the one that we rely on the most.
Yeah. Again, I was just once these get into our system, I'll probably I just look good. I just look for whoever looks good. I don't care like what it's where it's from. But I like the idea I can just go and never leave the editor and just download it and it's in the project.
Yeah, but it's also like the stuff that we've been pulling from Ambient CG is also like the most neutral stuff that we can find. Like everything we're pulling from it is like gray and brown and black.
The tiles in the subway station, I also got a metal beam texture I really liked for.
Yeah, and
Those
that
are
tactile, that like rubbery
Yeah.
stuff, that looked good too. So I mean, they do have a large selection.
They have decals. That's the decals I was using.
Mhm.
Those are really nice. I really like those.
But what's the problem with ambient ZG?
The color,
Most-
the color
you must
scheme
be-
is weird.
You have to rely on the desaturation.
Like look at this stuff. Do you see like I don't know what it is, but all of this stuff would look good together, even though it's different colors. There's like a consistent color palette or something.
Yeah.
Is that? Tell me, what am I looking? Why does this look like it? Like this is red and this is yellow, but they look good together.
They're in the same color space.
What is a color? I don't know what that is. But
It's like I took it's been like 12 years since I went to a graphic design school. So
tell me the secret.
So color is everything unless you're colorblind. So you can't just mix palettes together and expect things to look nice. So if everything is saturated, it'll look good together. But if you mix like saturated and desaturated materials together, they would just clash and it'll look like garbage.
See, so like, what would it look like if you took these materials and made a level with that? What would it look like?
They would contrast because that green is too green to match that white, and like that wood floor is too saturated, so it wouldn't look good with like the material next to it.
Okay, now like take a random selection of materials here. What would it look like if you made a level out of this?
It'll look right because that floor material, that ground material, will contrast better with that white material because the colors are not too far off. It's in the same color space. I can't like if there was like a chart or a graph or a color wheel, it would make much more sense. But you have to I have to imagine it.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't know what it is, but I can tell there's a difference here where this stuff.
I know what it is. I just suck at explaining it.
And why just not taking both?
What's that?
Why you are not just taking both of them? So, I mean, you don't lose anything if you let ambient CG in, huh?
Yeah, I'm saying like I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we'll only find on Ambient CG because they have a lot of variety. I'm just saying, like, in the future, like, okay, so somehow I'm going to get all of this content into our system and it will all be available in the editor. So what I'm saying is, like, PBRPX should probably be our first choice. We should probably look there first for something, and then
Again, I wouldn't care where it's from. If it looks good, I'm just gonna add it to the level.
yeah, just because I mean, we know if we make a level out of these, we know it'll have a certain consistency. That always bugs me about indie games is they look like this.
Yeah, see, it's like they just clash. They're all in their own color space.
Yeah, there's our tile. Now we did get some really good stuff. I mean, they do have some really good stuff here.
I think our tile is still desaturated because because that setting is still set to 0 on my end.
Oh, well,
we
it
tried
looks super good, and it has some nice variations. I'm just saying, like, there's something here I can tell that they did artistically that makes it look good. And if we look at polyhaven.com, all textures.
It's better, but not there.
It still looks quite random.
Again, I think PPRX is just one artist or a team of artists with an actual art director, while Polyhaven is just people from all over just submitting textures.
And do you see the? I mean, do you see the difference between this and this?
Yeah, this matched together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all of our, we're not if we use this whenever possible, then we're not going to have to worry about weird colors sticking out, which is a huge problem.
Use the same key colors.
Something. I don't know. I'm just a programmer. Okay, so that's pretty much all I've got. Let's see. I think it's more. Patches says I think it's more color palette than color space. Color space is the range of values. Color palette is a selection of colors. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I forget there's a whole like terminologies of everything you have to learn when you go for like that trade, and it's just in 12 years I don't remember. That's crap.
Yeah. You guys know a lot of stuff that I don't know. I just can tell, and it bugs me. I just don't know what it is. Okay, so I'll follow up with the the artist. Probably both of those, but I think Dreamworn is my favorite I've seen so far. And then I'll try to get you some pipes. I think I can do that this weekend. Let's see.
Or I can model stuff. Andy shared his barrels. I think if we desaturate the materials, we can use those because they're a little bit too saturated. But we can just desaturate the materials.
Okay.
Fine.
Is there anything in this scene that you want to pull out?
I like the shelves.
Okay.
I really wish I had shelves. We need light fixtures. We need lights and light sources. Like a spotlight or a one of those. There's a model Left 4 Dead of a light that I know what it is. I just don't know. Can't explain it. It's like a little. It's a box, and it has it's a box and it has like this. I can just let me just open Left 4 Dead 2 tools and I'll just find it.
I would like to have volumetric lightning.
What's that?
I think it would volumetric lightning. I think it would make the scene look even better than the Stalker 2 thing.
What's that?
The light which is Kleptor having like this volumetric lights.
I was
where you actually can see the light shaft and yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be very dusty. I think volumetrics would help. I was playing with Klepto's shaders, and he had an issue. Like, there's an issue with the decals. I don't know, very slight issue. I can post on the forum. But his bloom shader, he had that like issue with the black patches coming up, like what a Karma Composer was getting with your shaders a while back. So I couldn't use them because of the issues. But yeah, if we could have like just some noise or volumetrics with the lights, because this is a very dirty area. There's a lot of floating dust and everything.
Yeah, that would look good. So this is what I'm thinking. This is what I kind of want to go for with the pipe stuff. And here again, I think this stuff I guess these are like really, really old. They look like hoses, actually, that are like hanging off the wall.
They look like electrical cables. We need those for the subway, I believe.
Those are harder to make, but I can probably do them.
I could make them. I just can't UV unwrap them because
I'll just run them through Unwrap 3D.
I should just get it unwrapped 3D.
And then for the pipes, this is kind of the stuff I want to do. Like just have a big collection of stuff that you can put on the wall, so that you don't have to adjust every little corner, every little piece by hand. Just have like a big blob that you can just put in place. And they have that like a very similar tile here on the wall. I didn't notice that before. I don't think I can't do this wrapped pipe stuff. Like, I'm not very good at organic stuff. I'm not going to try to do this hangy stuff because that's hard.
I think they use Houdini for the fabrics and everything.
What's that?
I think they use Houdini for the fabrics.
Mm.
Because in Houdini, you can just like take like a rag and just throw it on things and it'll look right.
They use for sure for this kind of stuff ZBrush. I don't think in games like this that they are use free software. I mean, it's a AAA game. Most likely they use 3D Max and
Houdini is free.
No, Houdini's a lot of money.
Is it?
But it's so powerful.
Yeah, I can make stuff like this without too much trouble. It's just a matter of like deciding like the exact configuration I want. But yeah, I can make stuff like this and get that to you.
I found the. Give me a second. I just gotta remember how it works. Give me a second. Oh, whatever. I'll just snip it. All right.
It's mostly just a matter of like planning out like, okay, do I want this to be able to wrap around a corner? Do I want to have like several variations where it'd be nice to have like several variations where you can have like, this is just one big chunk and then you can put another big chunk down and have everything line up, and then another one, and then have like a piece that goes around the corner.
Right. I posted a light model from Left 4 Dead. I want that, something like that.
Found something.
That'll be very easy to model. If you want, you can model that. I can't unwrap it, but
yeah, that's not difficult. So if I use Unwrap 3D, is that going to give you UV coordinates that you can use?
Well, if Andy wants to paint them, that'll be more up to you and him.
Yeah, I'm asking. I mean,
what do you want?
Andy, I was planning to just run the models I make through Unwrap 3D. Is that going to be usable for you in Substance Painter?
You can just send me the models. I can use thing for it. Prism UV and unwrap it.
Okay. Would you prefer that I just send you the models and not attempt to do it, or do you want me to?
Just send the models.
Okay.
Also found which software they used in Stalker.
What's that?
Yeah, because
I found which software they used in Stalker for the environment, at least for some stuff.
This looks interesting.
You can see there.
Ooh.
which software they made with, and I think this is to level design the environment.
There's actually not much going on in here. This is just a square hallway.
Yeah, but there are many details like on the
Yeah.
floor,
Yeah.
all the items, and yeah,
Mhm.
looks cool.
Alright. So pretty much our workflow is like we're just gonna and like I want to be able to model things if I think something is needed, and if something like a model, I guess I would just model it and just upload the model to Andy, and he can take it to the end zone. I guess. Like let's say I need a model for like a certain area,
Well, just put it in the
and
map and make sure that it's final, and then I guess like don't tell him to start on it until we're absolutely certain that the model is final.
right, right, because I know how to use Blender and everything. I'm really really bad at unwrapping.
Well, he said he's gonna take care of
Yeah, I
that.
mean, if he can do that, I have to really learn how to unwrap. So, but that's like a project I have to do.
I don't unwrap them for myself. Mostly I click 3 buttons and then it's unwrapped.
Yeah, it's just
Okay. Let's see. Spark look that. The rest looks nice. Patches is typing. Let's see what he says. All right. Anything else? So, like the main things are, I need to. Well, the shader update will be in a couple of days, and then the performance issue will be gone. I know the cause of it. I want to be careful and solve it the correct way. So it'll take me a couple of days maybe to work that out, but it's really there's nothing to worry about there.
Actually, yes, this is a thing we talked last week about it, and the function to replace models, in the inspector, that you can change the path from the model.
Yeah, I know. I remember all that stuff. It's just I've been busy with some other things. Patches says you mainly just have to learn seam placement. There is a lot of auto packing solutions.
yeah,
Is he talking about UV coordinates?
yeah, yes.
All right.
So with the map though, like what should we do? Because obviously mine is not good because of everything I was playing with. But and then
Have you opened up the variation that I made?
yeah, but you said there's a lot of things you didn't like about that but I didn't know if you wanted to like work on that yourself. I just don't want to like you're working on your thing and I go in your map and just screw everything up.
What do we? Okay, I guess like we need a good. It's funny, like all of basically our entire design. Okay, so what we just demonstrated, whether you realize it or not, what we just demonstrated was bottom up level design because we just started our whole level came from one texture. It was just that one tile texture with several variations from ambient CG. That's basically the base. That's pretty much the basis of our entire level, right?
Yeah, that pretty much just says, "Oh, this is a subway now."
Right. So, so we could use the wall texture that we want to pair with that because we want that to be on the bottom, and then we want something to be on top. And what Rich did in his level is he had let me
You
get
had
better.
didn't you have the? I thought you had like the image like loaded.
I did, but so he had this texture here that was pretty nice. It's like this painted concrete with this orangish it's a little bit reddish, so it adds a little bit. It gives it a little bit of a warm feel.
Yeah.
I kind of like
There's-
this.
There was like that plaster with the bricks shining through. I wanted to play with the painting too.
I don't think I want bricks though. I mean,
Well, it was
wait,
like
I'm not sure
some
which one
sort
you're
of-
talking about.
It was. It wasn't like bricks, but it was like large stone that you would see on the ground. Like they would just like put crap over it to make the surface smooth.
I don't know, but I think we should I think we should decide, like, really look for a really good texture that pairs well with the tile that we have. Oh, there it is. Oh, where'd my screenshot go? Like, none of the concrete textures that I applied to the wall above here, none of them really looked right, and this texture is so good. I'd like to find something that goes really, really well with it, because I think that it's actually super important, because that is going to sort of establish our whole color scheme, because I think we're going to end up reusing that a lot. Everything else looks really good though.
I did have that one concrete texture. I thought that looked well with it, but you replaced it, so obviously you didn't like it.
Well, I tried a lot of different. I think I tried a lot of different things, so I'm not sure. But that's something to keep in mind. I don't know. What else do you think could? What else do you think that you could do this weekend on it, without having any models yet?
I want to see if I could patch out the rocks and that dirt material. I don't think I can, but we'll see. I want to. Well, I just want to go in and just fix. I see this like little issue with your map. Let me pull up your map again. Josh Payne. Let's see. There's like this weird geometry, and I don't know what's causing it. I want to fix that.
Why don't you give this material a try too, if you get a chance?
Right, hold on. Not looking.
I'd like to try like some concrete rubble, like along the bottom corner of a wall, especially with tessellation enabled. I'd like to see if we can produce something like that photo that Andy showed a week ago.
Also, I guess you don't like puddles.
You went really crazy with the decals.
Yeah. But I like the puddles because it added some reflectivity. But again, there was like an issue with the. I'll post in the bug report form, but.
Well, every time I mean, the cost of a decal is almost the same as having a light. So this right here, down here in the corner, like if we can do something like that, I think that would be another one of those basic things that becomes a tool that we reuse and reuse.
Yeah, we can try that. I'm gonna try that. Also, I want like fake ads. So for the subway areas,
Like in a light box.
Yeah, just like in Cyberpunk where there's all those stupid ads. They could be funny. We can make inside jokes in them. It's really fun. But they can actually show off the. I want a way to demonstrate light boxes, like how you can use those properly. So I think that'd be really cool if we can have a fake ad, and then we use a light box to project light So if an enemy runs by it, the colors of the advertisement project on that enemy as it's running through, and also casts as a shadow. So, and it'll also look good when it reflects on the floor. Maybe we can change the material on the landing pad, so it actually reflects like that scene, like that image of Cyberpunk I have. It'll look good with screen space reflections. So
Yeah. Okay.
so I want to look into like that. Maybe I might go in Blender, and I want to look at Andy's barrels. I want to get those in. And we need tables. We need like a table, and we need like a little switch to open the door, because I want some interaction in this. Even if it's just a button opening the door, that's fine. We just need a way to demonstrate the flow graph system.
Okay.
And I would like that button to be a prefab, so anyone can just put that button in any map, and they could just link it to wherever they want to link it to. But we're not there yet. Also, I want to make those we gotta make the doors a prefab too, and work out how the handle's gonna behave.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think what we have right now, it's pretty simple, but like this looks really, really good to me.
Yeah.
And if we I think we need to like add variation to it one piece at a time, but just keep in mind that like, every time we add something and it looks bad, like we need to take it out and then, try again and again. Like let's try to keep this core, like, just where the overall aesthetic looks like it just instantly looks good. I don't know exactly what it is, but I like what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah. So yeah, just push what you have now, and then you can do what you gotta do, and then I'll just work on that little corner. I'll just make that like look really good.
Okay.
And but your ceiling, your trim stuff, right? Do you want that to go, or do you want?
Yeah, I don't like it.
All right, I'll delete that then.
It might be okay if it like, I mean, if we had like some like cables and stuff hanging down and stuff, but it doesn't really look like anything right now. So it's like, okay, we tried something, let's pull it back out. I'd rather have like I'd rather keep like a core, simpler design that where nothing looks wrong than to have more stuff and have things just like sticking out and looking like just not looking consistent.
Right.
So I think we just have to like, I mean, probably like we just have to keep experimenting, and then like probably only about a fourth of what we actually try is going to make it into the final level.
Right.
Because it seems like every time we do something new, it looks bad, right?
Yeah. Well.
At least on the first try, it just looks. There's something about it that looks wrong. But now we have like this is the first time I've seen where we have something where I feel like, yeah, this is something good that we can expand.
Right. All right. Well, we just push your changes right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll push what I have right now. I didn't do much to it.
Also, less is often more.
Yeah.
When it comes to painting and all the stuff.
Well, I have to now, because it's still like this gore stuff on the ceiling from my painting, and I have to remove. And I don't know how I'm going to easily do that. That's more going to be a pain than anything.
Oh, it's not. It's not. You just select the face and then.
I'm just going to select the entire brush, but I have to remove all the materials, and then I got to undo the subdivisions.
By the way, will it be possible somehow or at some time to cut holes into the terrain?
It's supported right now, but I don't think there's a tool for it. Like, I mean, in the engine supports it. I just need to add the tool, so I can do that. It's not very hard. Let's see.
I have some buildings with basement levels, which are basically under the ground. So yeah.
Yeah, I can add that in. In that screenshot, one thing that doesn't hit is the left light is way warmer than the right one. The warm colors really help the scene pop. True. Yeah, but I think the right one would need a similar color temperature, and maybe it would make sense that it is a warm light, like an old light bulb, instead of a fluorescent tube or something like that. That's kind of like what I thought of these as, like the orange. I thought of the orange light as being like a really old, dirty incandescent, and then the big spotlights. I pictured those as being more of a fluorescent kind of thing. Helps the scene pop. Yes, so it pops. This scene pops. Like, for lack of a better term, like, this looks right. And this is the first time where we've really done something where I was like, yeah, this looks... I don't know where this is going, but I like it. So I'm saying, like, yeah, we need to experiment, we need to expand, but I don't want to lose this, what we have here, which is... Can't quite put my finger on it.
Speaking of losing it, can I demonstrate the bug where if you just select a material, it unpaints itself? Because that is very, very frustrating.
Let's see. Yeah, let's take a look if it's easy to demonstrate.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. I guess. How do I share screen? Share my screen. We got a screen. Doing it live. Okay. So, in the editor, this is your map, and all I do is select it.
Hold on.
And it goes away.
Oh, well, that's how you can get rid of the material.
Yeah, but
so hold on.
But it still has the material plan to it. But
hold on, I wasn't watching it. Can you do that again?
I'll replay that. Okay. So I go over here, and I go, oh, I want to delete this. Oh, great! Now it's not doing it. It was doing it. Hold on. Close. Let's reload that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Select. Now it's not going to do it. It was doing it.
Why must you turn my stream into a den of lies?
It was doing it.
I believe you.
I mean,
maybe if you restart the editor.
Anyway.
Maybe if you restart the editor.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I better restart it.
Too many subdivisions.
Yeah, it was doing it.
You might have to. It might be like loaded in memory or something.
Okay. It was doing it. Let's open a new map. Open.
I mean, he basically clicked the red thing and it disappeared. That's.
Yeah,
I believe you.
But you can't like debug it because.
Yeah, you just have to be able to reliably reproduce the problem.
But here's another issue, right? It says. I obviously see this red material on it, but I can't delete
Oh yeah,
it.
yeah. I experienced that problem. So, I'll get that solved ASAP.
Yeah, it's just like it's very frustrating. Like it's very powerful, but it's also like very frustrating because it's like, oh, I want to just
Beta
like
branch.
I would just like unselect it. Yeah, but you want me to use the beta branch to make this level.
I know.
I'm
I know.
kind of screwed.
But that's my
So,
fallback.
yeah.
Um,
but like here, I want just. I really wish I could just select this and then just instead of going remove, and then reset, I can just select it and it would just I could just go here.
no, you want a
You can
button. You
make a
want a
toolbar.
button to do automatically do the
Yeah,
thing,
like
exact thing
reset.
that you want to do.
Yeah, reset everything. Also, I don't know why these are lower. Did you make these lower?
I
Oh, I know.
probably messed it up.
I also want a Fulbright mode so I can actually see what I'm doing, what I'm looking at. It'll actually be really nice. So, no, yeah, it looks like these are.
I think I messed it up because I wanted the ceiling to be higher.
Um, Here, so. Do this. Move. 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 And I think and these are actually painted with the gore material. Yeah, one thing I noticed, like, instead of like painting, well, that's concrete now. I don't know how that became concrete. Move. Move. Yeah, I really wish it was like an easier way just to reset. Also, yeah, when something's longer than it's shorter, that's how you get all these like weird subdivisions. Because
You could also have a button that's like auto and like sets them like every 1 meter or something. That's a
well,
lot of polygons.
I did have my brushes where this was like two separate brushes, but the second brush like had like a bevel, like a its vertex was moved, and it just screwed up this.
Hmm.
But it looked neater on the grid. But I had to redo the floor because it was just like didn't
Yeah,
look good. Also, I don't know what this is from. Like
I
why?
was I was looking at that before. I was like, wait, what's going on here? There's something sticking out. That's okay. We'll get it sorted out. I was a little bit worried about the environment probes with that room because I was thinking we would want like another environment probe inside the room.
Oh,
Um,
I keep selecting the Vine Pro like
I
here,
yeah, I know. I was experiencing the same thing.
like
I'll get that sorted out this week. But I think it's actually fine to have the one probe that spans the those entire areas because the light is so bright inside that room. If the light is bright inside the room, then we don't really have to worry about the probe reflections being perfect because they're not as highly visible.
oh, it's this.
Oh, also, Josh,
Mm-hmm.
can you make the two buttons maybe in the toolbar for the grid snap and enable or disabling it?
Yeah, if I can find an icon. I know there's a lot of small little things that are convenient that I would like to get added in, but I mean a lot of times the stuff that I'm working on that week like eats up the entire week.
You are doing this alone. I mean, it's an insane amount of work you are doing.
It'll get done. I just can't guarantee exactly when. I noticed
Yeah,
the desaturation doesn't work on the decals, like where the decals show up. It's not considering. I need to add some code in to uh, use the material saturation level on the decal appearance.
I don't know why. Maybe it's come from this? No. Why?
All right. So I'm gonna stop watching.
Yeah, I'm just working, so.
Okay.
But a lot of it, like, but yeah, a lot of it is just like, this is why I was kind of like shy to paint things, because it's just a lot of, it just makes everything harder right now, because it's like, oh, why is this wall popping up, or why is this
Well,
not
it'll
working?
be easier if you disable tessellation while you're
Yeah, I
working
did
on
have
this stuff.
this disabled, and then I think someone re-enabled it, or it got re-enabled through a push.
It's in the settings, so it's not.
No, but I was
Oh, for the
seeing all this.
material.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. It wasn't me.
uh,
I think it was Andy.
maybe.
I don't know.
Um, let's see.
And so right now, I'm just going through and just cleaning things up.
Yeah, so we started with sort of an office complex, and then we were gonna have it go into an underground warehousey area, and then we kind of switched to an abstract setting, but we just couldn't stay away from level design, and we sort of dove back into it and ended up with, and then we were making like a Counter-Strike kind of map, and that one actually turned out to be, that was actually the hardest of everything that we tried, and now finally, what we ended up with is an underground subway, abandoned subway station, and I'm quite happy with that setting. I think it fits our needs very, very well. This is final. It's not going to change again. And I think there's a lot that we can do with this environment, with this setting.
Right now, I'm gonna request you not to push anything, because I did a lot of work removing all the tessellation from the scene.
Is that on your?
It's on your copy, but I can just resave the copy.
Well, it's just the materials, right? It's not the.
Yeah, it's not any lighting, but I'm just deleting all the gore stuff and everything from the map.
Oh, yeah. I didn't. You can just push yours. I don't care. I didn't do anything very special.
Right. But I can try with the that light effect you want.
Oh yeah. Maybe I'll just make a copy of mine, and then.
I
And then
could
we'll
just
have
make a
both.
copy of mine and just,
Okay.
and then I would just port what you were doing.
Okay. Do you want to show them the subway area?
Yeah.
We have another room to this.
Yeah, just put that back. I'll fix that later. So we actually have all this too.
This actually, like when I went out and I saw this in the dark with just the fog, it actually looked really cool.
Yeah, I want like the fake ads here.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
This is elevators going to nowhere, but the idea is that these will be fenced off. So
one mechanic I thought of, well, I got the idea from the game Rage, was you could lift that gate up a little bit. Those screens that you have.
Oh yeah.
And you could have guys. If you have a crawl animation, you could have like enemies crawling under it, so that way you could feed more enemies into the scene without, from an area that you cannot get to.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks cool.
Idea.
What game is that from, Dumage? Oh, Art Station. I haven't heard of that game. Is it fun?
Oh, I did it again.
Interesting. Okay, now we saw it live.
Yeah.
And that was with the you're using the selection tool. Interesting. I have no idea. I have no idea why that would happen, but okay.
Yeah.
I have an idea, maybe.
But I saw like an alien slime material on this here. Oh, it's coming from here. It's just Yeah, I really wish I just had it. I really wish I could just select multiple things and just be like, hey, like clear everything. But because now I'm going back and doing the tedious thing of, oh yeah, you made the ceiling taller. That's why. Okay.
Can we go back in the main subway room again?
Yeah.
I want to take a look at those. Can we get a close up of the tracks?
These are just development.
Oh, okay. That's just okay. I think what I would like to do, I would like. Let's see. I don't know. I have some ideas for this, and then for the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think maybe we should do like a round entrance to it, and have like these round tunnels that you go through?
Like an arch here.
Like not a perfect arch, not like 180 degrees.
Well, I have these slope things here. But I just did not know how to like communicate that with like this tile. So I just pushed this back and just put a beam here.
No, we'd have to model it, but something like something similar to like the. Do you remember the tunnel pieces from
the demo that you had with the?
Well, you can. It's uploaded on the website right now. You can download. It's just not. It's not in the screenshots.
Yeah, I know exactly those tunnels, but it's just one model, so it's not really useful.
No, I'm not saying use that. I'm just saying like a similar style.
Would need to have water on the ground, like water puddles.
I put the water. I had water puddles in my version.
You had like 10 decals that were covering the entire room. They were like stretched across the entire room. So I was like, I have to get rid of all these decals. I can't tell what's going on.
I accidentally oversaved your map or whatever. But this is mine.
This is water on the ground. Yes.
This is what I was doing.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 will look good. Yeah. But what are all these decals? They're like, if you select some of them, they cover the entire room.
Oh, this one is grime on the bottom, which helps. This is grime on the top. And these were puddles. I guess we can just make that one. Yeah, you're kind of right about that. I like this decal, if I can select it. I don't know why I can't select it. Probably because I like this decal because it blended with the because I had this concrete barrier that Josh was saying that he didn't like because you can't really see the mud coming up. But I liked this decal because this is how I would do it in like Legworks, where you just put a decal and just. Oh.
Is that what all that grime on the bottom is?
Yep, just the decal. But with decals, you have to be careful because if an enemy comes in and it's not the right decal layer, he'll have grime on him. So
I don't like it because it looks extremely uniform. And that's something we want to get away from.
Yeah.
Like the unique, like what we really want to emphasize is the unique painting because that's something people haven't seen a lot before.
Again, when I tried to paint, I was getting nervous. I was just like, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it the old way.
Let's take a look at the exit to this room. That doorway back there.
It's the same subway.
No. Go back. I want to see the door. Like that. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. I like the idea, but it's wrong. Like it doesn't look good. It doesn't look usable right now, but the idea is cool.
Yeah, well, the idea was that like I was thinking about this like alien like creatures just taking over the subway, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna experiment with that. Maybe we'll get some alien flesh and some real blood and such.
Like the way you painted it looks really good. It's just those materials are wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to, like, it could also be just like just slime, and you saw in Metro Exodus, they had like just gross slime and stuff all over the walls. It was just filthy. So
Maybe
it's the
maybe we could
right
do-
idea. It's just the materials do not fit.
maybe this should be the moss. Like maybe we should do what I was trying to do here with the instead of alien slimy goo, just do moss or fungus or something. Or
Yeah,
fungi.
I think we just have to. I think it's just a lot of this is just going to be finding the right materials. Because that seems to be what makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, so maybe in your map that I was that I overstated. Maybe this is how we hide all this up. So it doesn't matter what concrete texture we use here, because it's just gonna be taken over by like moss or something.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to find. We need to do something though.
What me helps often is just playing the game. And not the game I make, something else. Like, I mean, I work on a survival game, so I play just a bit DayZ or something, and yeah, get a bit inspired of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say Stalker 2 would be another good source, but that's not going to be out for a while. Oh, another idea. I kind of think if we okay, so Stalker 2 is coming out in November.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, like that kind of game is very popular. Like there's the Road to Tarkov or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff is very popular right now. Do you think we should do when we make like signs and stuff for this? Should we place this? Should the signs be English, or should we actually make this look like Ukrainian or Russian kind of setting?
I don't know the Ukrainian vocabulary, and I kind of modeled this after like a Western subway system, because the Eastern ones you were showing me are more. They have more arches and more complex geometry, and I was worried that would be too much
Yeah.
and moving groups and everything, while the Western subways are more concrete fixes on the ground. But what I was saying before is that we can mix just elements we like from both regions, and we can we don't have to like really, as long as it's believable, right?
Yeah. I think the style is fine. I just like I kind of think it might. Okay, I think it might make more money if the text is in Cyrillic, because people will say that because Stalker 2 will be popular, and they'll be like, oh, I want to make something like that. I don't know. It's just a thought. I'm not sure.
Hello, can anyone hear my mic?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yay.
The only thing is that I tried doing foreign languages before, and there's always someone, like I use like translators and everything, to like, oh, no one's gonna know this is wrong, and people come up to me and it's like, hey, that's wrong.
That's fine. In the Stalker, they said the main thing it was kill the Strelok.
I don't know
No,
why
but-
that-
They
I mean, one
inserted
thing about Stalker was that it was all Russian, right? Pretty much. Like all the main voice acting for the game was in Russian, but the actual game was made by and primarily for Ukrainians.
why is
well, they speak
Yeah.
Russian more than Ukrainian is only spoken in the western part of the country.
why is tessellation on this material? I have tessellation off on this material. Why is it on?
Cold War. If I had the subway area, lots of other cool maps.
I'm not sure. I think you can also make cool things
There
with
we go.
US based things, buildings, and architectures.
Yeah, I don't have a real strong opinion on it. It's just something to start thinking about, because eventually we don't have to decide yet, but eventually we will.
Like, I think a better idea would just be trying to figure out what kind of environment is best for demonstrating the technology, not necessarily what's best for a user base that might not be there in 3 years after Road to Vostok and Stalker or whatever loses its popularity.
True. But then we'll make something new. It'll be whatever's popular. Angry Birds 5 or...
Okay, next version Ultra Engine is going to mobile, yes?
What's that?
Mobile. Next engine is going to be a mobile engine then.
I hope not. So interesting stuff. I think we've been kind of stuck on this, and I think we're really moving forward in a good way.
Maybe we can bring this back out.
All right. So if there are no other questions, then I think we will wrap up the video. Stalker Anomaly Gamma has some nice stuff too. What's that? Stalker Anomaly Gamma? I don't know what this is. Is this a mod?
So there's like a mod for Stalker, or it's like a total overhaul remake from the community, and then and that's called Anomaly, and then on top of that I think there's like a super hard mode called Gamma that also has a bunch of graphical things they added.
Oh, okay. Okay, something that you see here that I really like is the rebar. And this is something that Rich DiGiovanni also had in his old scene that he made for us. That rebar looks really good. It's not that hard to model, it's just like kind of you have to know what you're trying to do.
Right.
This broken concrete stuff, this is pretty hard to model. I think you have to start with the shape like already unwrapped and then move the vertices around maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean I think some of this stuff it goes too far to where like you can't even see there's no like definition of the level. You can't see what's going on. So I think I don't want to go quite that far, but it's still good for inspiration. Thank you for the screenshots, guys. Thank you for the ideas. Cool stuff to look into. So I'm going to stop the video here. Thank you all for watching. By the way, we can always use more. We need Steam reviews. If you are happy with the progress of the engine and the direction we're going in, your review on Steam, that makes more of a difference than anything else. Ultra Engine Pro has a very good review score, but we need more. We need the number of reviews to be higher. The higher our placing is on Steam, the higher the games that get released in a bundle with Ultra will be. We released the Leadworks Games bundle in September, and everyone who participated saw a massive boost in their visibility on Steam. They reported 3 times increase in sales, and Ultra Engine has much higher visibility than Leadworks does. So that means that any games that are published in a bundle with Ultra in the future are going to benefit from Ultra having a high visibility in Steam. The best way to do that is to have more reviews in the Steam product page, so that we can. That'll also help me when I ask Valve for increased coverage on Steam. So it helps the engine, it helps your games, and everyone is happy. So thank you very much. You can like and subscribe if you want. I don't really care, but if you want to, you can. But I don't really care, but you can if you want. All right. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the forum.